Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to be looking at how we do the plural in Spanish. What does that mean? What does it mean to do the plural? Well, doing the plural is basically the process by which one car becomes several cars. Okay, and in English most of the time you add an s. Sometimes, like in the words like sandwich, you add es, and then you've got some silly plurals like goose, geese, and all that stuff, which I'm not even going to go into. The good news, there isn't anything like that in Spanish. So the good thing, yes, it's just talking about more than one item. Okay, that's when you need the plural. So how do we do the plural in Spanish? What we need to look at in order to do the plural is what's the last letter. Okay, what's the last letter of the word, and that is going to basically tell us how I need to do that plural. So if the last letter of the word is a vowel, okay, vowel, and I'm sure you all know a vowel is A, E, I, O, U, any of these. If the word ends in a vowel, what I'm going to do is just add an S like you do here in cars, okay? So if I've got a boat, I've got un barco. If I've got more than one boat, I've got barcos. So I add an S to the word barco. If I have a house, una casa, because it ends in a vowel, I add, if I have more than one, I've got casas, I add an S, and that's the plural done. The other thing that can happen, the other possibility for words to end in, of course, if it doesn't end in a vowel, it's going to end in a consonant. So if a word ends in consonant, what I'm going to do is add es to the end of the word. So if I've got a lorry, un camión, which ends in n, I'm going to add es if I've got more than one. Camión es. You might have noticed the accent disappeared. We're going to leave this for a second. I'll tell you later on. If I've got un despertador, an alarm clock, but I struggle in the morning and I need more than one, I'll have despertador es, okay? And adding the es, I do the plural. This is basically all you're going to need most of the time to do the plural of words. So, pretty straightforward. Ends in vowel, add an s. Ends in consonant, add es. Okay? So, you could leave it here if you wanted to, or you could carry on watching the video for a few little issues that you might encounter. Okay, tiny little ones. One of them is if the word ends in an I or a U with an accent. Okay, so it would belong to this group here. Rather than just adding an S, you're going to add es. There aren't that many words that end this way, so don't worry too much, okay? One word is the Spanish for wild boar, un jabalí. Un jabalí is wild boar. If you want to do the plural, you're going to have to add es because it ends in an E with an accent, okay? That's pretty much it for this section, for the vowels one, right? Now, the other thing we need to bear in mind is that sometimes when we add es, we might need to do a change of consonant. More specifically, z might become a c. So, for example, I've got the word, I've got un lápiz, a pencil, un lápiz. Okay. Now, if I do the plural, if I've got pencils, you would think, okay, so that must be lápiz es, and you would be right. However, in Spanish, we don't like ZE combination, same as we don't like ZI combination. And whenever a Z and an E need to be together, or would be together, I change this Z for a C. Okay, the same happens if if a Z and an I would be together, I would change it for a C. Okay, so this will become lápices. Okay, it's just a tiny thing. Okay, but just bear it in mind when you've got a word with a singular ends in a Z. Okay, when you put it in a plural, you're going to have to change it into a C. Another little thing you're going to have to bear in mind are accents, okay? Accents. Sometimes that's going to be an issue. We've seen above the word camión. We've also got many other words, like for example, un examen, okay? Un examen is like this in singular. When I put it in plural, exámenes develops an accent. And this is due to the rules of accentuation, okay? This word becomes a 4-syllable word, and the third syllable in is the strong syllable. It needs an accent. Don't worry too much for now, okay? Worry about it when you learn the rules of accentuation, but just if you notice that, oh, in this way here, this hasn't got an accent, and here it has, or in the case of camión, in the singular it doesn't, and in the plural, in the singular it doesn't, in the plural it doesn't. That's why, because of the rules of accents in Spanish. And then the other thing you might want to bear in mind is also some foreign words. Foreign words can give us issues in Spanish when it comes to doing the plural. So I've got a word like póster. Póster. In Spanish, I might say for the plural pósteres, or I might say pósters. Both are correct, both are accepted. Another word that in English you would say club, in Spanish we say club. In this case, we only really like the plural clubes. We don't really like clubs, okay? And in a case like comic book, we would go for comics. So as you can see, sometimes you might find both, sometimes you might find the S, sometimes you might find S. It is difficult to say. It's just because they're foreign words, and it depends on how funny, how easy or difficult to pronounce things are, okay? So whenever you come across a foreign word in Spanish where you need to do the plural, you might need to do a little bit of research on which one would be the most correct one. Okay, and this is pretty much it you need to know for now about the plural. Thank you very much.